Asset protection is a critical aspect of financial planning and risk management, designed to safeguard one's assets from potential creditors, lawsuits, and judgments. In Atlanta, Georgia, understanding the nuances of asset protection law is essential for residents and business owners looking to secure their wealth and ensure long-term stability. Residents are increasingly aware of the importance of safeguarding their assets. As one navigates through life's financial journey, the foresight to protect one's wealth becomes paramount. This is where the role of a skilled asset protection attorney becomes crucial. The importance of asset protection. In our modern litigious society, asset protection transcends being a mere luxury. It's a fundamental necessity for anyone with significant assets to manage. The city is home to a diverse range of professionals, business owners, and property investors, all of whom may be susceptible to various legal threats. Georgia law provides several mechanisms for protecting one's assets, and understanding how to utilize these strategies effectively can make a significant difference in safeguarding one's financial future. Here are some reasons why considering asset protection strategies can be beneficial for Atlanta residents. High litigation risk. Real estate investments. Diverse business environment. Wealth preservation. Consumer debt issues. How a skilled asset protection attorney can help. In Atlanta, Georgia, navigating the landscape of asset protection requires a comprehensive understanding of both state and federal laws. A skilled asset protection attorney is instrumental in formulating and implementing an effective strategy to shield your assets. They can provide tailored solutions that fit your specific circumstances, ensuring your wealth is protected against creditors, lawsuits, and judgments. Choosing the right asset protection vehicles. In Atlanta, the options for asset protection are varied, and choosing the right vehicle is crucial to the effectiveness of your strategy. An attorney experienced in Georgia's legal framework can help you. Assess your risk. Understand your options. Implement strategies proactively. Ensure compliance. Utilizing trusts for asset protection. When considering the use of trusts for asset protection, it's critical to understand the variety of trust structures available and their respective purposes. Managing a trust. The creation and ongoing management of a trust are equally important. Selecting an independent trustee is paramount to ensure that the trust is administered with the intended level of protection. Some trusts also allow for the appointment of a trust protector, an individual with the authority to amend the trust in response to changes in law or personal circumstances, further safeguarding the trust's assets. Ensuring the trust's operation is in strict compliance with legal requirements is another vital component, typically necessitating the guidance of a professional experienced in trust law. Trust limitations and timing. However, trusts are not without their limitations. They cannot typically protect against creditors for liabilities that were present before the trust's creation, as such actions might be deemed fraudulent transfers. Additionally, the tax implications of trusts differ from personal assets and must be carefully managed. The role of LLCs and corporations in safeguarding assets. Incorporating a business as an LLC or a corporation can provide a shield for personal assets in Atlanta. Limited liability companies, LLCs. Corporations. Maintaining corporate formalities. Estate planning and asset protection. Estate planning and asset protection are deeply intertwined, especially in Atlanta, where local laws and state statutes dictate how individuals can secure their legacies for future generations. A well-structured estate plan can not only ensure that your wishes are respected after your passing but can also offer robust protection for your assets during your lifetime. Integrating asset protection into your estate plan. In Atlanta, integrating asset protection into your estate plan is a strategic process that involves organizing your assets in such a way that they are shielded from potential creditors, lawsuits, or judgments while ensuring they are distributed according to your wishes upon your death. Avoiding probate issues with proper planning. Probate can be a lengthy and public process that involves the court overseeing the distribution of an individual's assets after death. Tax implications and asset protection. In Atlanta, as well as the rest of Georgia, it's important to consider the tax implications of your asset protection and estate planning strategies. Asset protection for business owners. Diligent asset protection planning is essential for business owners. The goal is to secure personal wealth against the inherent risks and liabilities of running a business. Georgia laws offer various means to achieve this, but it requires strategic planning and a clear understanding of both legal entities and local regulations. Separating personal and business assets. The first step in asset protection for business owners in Atlanta is to establish a clear distinction between personal and business assets. Strategies for protecting personal assets from business liabilities. Beyond structuring the business as a separate legal entity, Atlanta business owners can employ several strategies to protect personal assets. Insurance. Investment in protected assets. Estate planning vehicles. Risk assessment for Atlanta business owners. Conducting a thorough risk assessment is a critical component of asset protection planning for business owners in Atlanta. This process involves identifying potential internal and external risks associated with the business, evaluating the sufficiency of existing asset protection strategies and insurance coverage, regularly reviewing and updating business structures and practices to ensure compliance with evolving Georgia laws and regulations. Safeguarding assets against litigation. The role of an Atlanta asset protection attorney. Asset protection in the context of litigation involves proactive measures taken before any claims or lawsuits arise, as well as strategies deployed after a judgment has been made. It is important to navigate these matters with a keen understanding of Georgia's laws to minimize exposure to financial risks. An Atlanta asset protection attorney can play a crucial role in shielding an individual's assets from the perils of litigation. Here's how they can help. Risk assessment and strategy development. Legal structure implementation. Asset titling and segregation. Exemption planning. Insurance advisement. Retirement plans. Creating barriers to lawsuits. Legal compliance and ethical transfers. Ongoing consultation. Role of an Atlanta asset protection attorney during litigation. An asset protection attorney in Atlanta can provide invaluable assistance before and during litigation to safeguard an individual's assets. Their help comes into play in several ways. Pre-litigation counseling. In-depth analysis of existing asset protection measures. Assessment of plaintiffs' claims. Representation and advocacy. Strategic litigation support. Post-judgment planning. Negotiation with creditors. Bankruptcy proceedings. Ensuring ethical and legal compliance. Fraudulent transfers and conveyances. Legal pitfalls. In the face of litigation, or when a judgment is imminent, some may be tempted to transfer assets to family members, trusts, or others to keep them out of creditors' reach. However, these actions can be classified as fraudulent transfers under both Georgia law and federal law if they are done with the intent to hinder, delay, or defraud creditors. To avoid the substantial risks associated with fraudulent transfers, do not transfer assets when litigation is threatened or after a judgment has been issued if such a transfer would render you insolvent or is meant to defraud creditors. Maintain accurate and complete records of all asset transfers, and ensure they are for legitimate estate planning, business, or investment purposes and are conducted at fair market value. Consult with legal counsel before making significant transfers if there is any potential for current or future litigation. Bankruptcy. In Atlanta, Georgia, individuals and businesses facing insurmountable debt may consider bankruptcy as a means to restructure or discharge their debts. Bankruptcy proceedings can offer a fresh start, but they also require careful navigation to protect as many assets as possible under the law. Understanding both federal bankruptcy laws and Georgia's specific statutes is essential for maximizing asset protection during this process. Navigating bankruptcy while maximizing asset protection. When declaring bankruptcy in Atlanta, asset protection strategies must be carefully planned and legally sound to ensure that you retain as much property as possible. The intersection of federal bankruptcy and state asset protection laws. Bankruptcy is governed primarily by federal law, particularly the U.S. Bankruptcy Code, which allows individuals to choose between federal bankruptcy exemptions and those provided by the state in which they file. However, Georgia requires those filing bankruptcy to use state exemptions, and federal exemptions are not an option. This intersection requires a strategic approach. State exemptions. Federal bankruptcy courts. Non-exempt assets. Asset protection for divorce. Asset protection can play a critical role in the context of a divorce by ensuring a fair distribution of assets and possibly safeguarding certain assets from being subject to division. Here are several strategies that can help. Prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. Titling of assets. Trusts. Business arrangements. Financial planning and documentation. Understanding of state laws. Legal and financial advice. Call Trace Brooks Law at 404-492-9559 today for a confidential consultation.